Hi, this is the North America Math Contest Go Go Go. This week we are going to talk about a problem. Find A to J if A, B, C, D, and J represents one number of 0 to 9. And each letter has to be a different number. So this means we can't make A 3 and B also 3. So now we are going to do this problem. When we solve this problem, we might find, oh, this problem is so complicated. But we can find this a real number here. I mean a number here, the only number here, which is 350. We can start from here. Let's doing a factorization for this. It is equals to 5 times 2 times 7 times 5. So this means we can make this number 35 times 2. So we have several choices of making this. 35, 14, 25, 25, 10, 50, and 17. However, for 35, if this is 35, then this has to be 2 and 5. It is not right. If this is 14, right, then this can only be 5 times 5. It is also not right. So if it's 25, it can be the next two numbers have to be 2 and 7. That is also not right. So this means we only have 3 choices for this: 10, 50, and 70. So which means that we can list out all the possibilities for IJBE, which is 10 times 5 times 7, 10 times 7 times 5, 15 times 1 times 7, 15 times 7 times 1, 70 times 1 times 5, 70 times 5 times 1. So this means these 4 numbers have to be like they occupy 1057. E is 1057. So let's see, we can find, how do we determine which number is which? First, we can see for all these 4 possibilities, J is always 0. You see 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this means J can only be 0. So now let's see B. Here, what's that called? We first know that B cannot be equal to 1. Why? Because if B is equal to 1, then this CD will be equal to A. However, this is only a 1-digit number instead of 2-digit. So this means that B cannot be equal to 1. Now we test whether B can be 5 or not. If B is 5, so let's suppose A, since we don't know A, if A is an even number, then D has to be 0. However, J is 0, so this means that D cannot be 0. So if A is an even number, then D can only be 5. However, if D is equal to 5, it overlaps with B, because B is also 5. So this means that B also cannot be 5. Therefore, B can only be 7. So after thinking this, we can cross out all possibilities. All possibilities. So we currently have I and E. So I and E are determined 1 or 5. So this means I can be 1 or 5. E can also be 1 or 5. I'm going to show you now why E cannot be 5. Because if E is 5, it is similar to this. If E is 5, then one of them also have to be 5 or 0, because the last digit for this is 5 or 0. So this means that if this wants to have the last digit of 5 or 0, one of G and C must be 5 or 0. However, it can be neither 5 or 0, because if it is 5, then E occupies this. If it is 0, then J occupies this. So this means that it can neither be 5 or 1. So this means E it can only be 1. And so this means that B is 5. I is 5. So now we have these 4 numbers ready. So now let's get the third step, which is, let's see the equation 3. D times H is equal to BC. So we know that B is 7. So this means this equation should be 770 plus D is equal to D times H. In multiplication table, there is only one possibility for it to exceed, which is 8 times 9 and 9 times 9. However, two numbers cannot be identical. This means that D or H, one of them has to be 8 and one of them has to be 9, and C has to be 2. So we get that C is 2. Yes. So now let's see. So we know D and H D needs to be 8 or 9. So let's look back to equation 1. If D is 9, C is 2, then it's 29. However, 29 is a prime number. This means that it can only be factored into 29 times 1. However, there is no double digits here. These are only single digits. So this means D cannot be 9. D can only be 8. So this means H is 9. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have currently 3, 4, 6. 3 numbers left. Let's see. A times B is 7. Let's see the equation A again. So since we know that B is 7, C is 2, and D is 8, this means A is 4. Now we go back to the final equation, which is the second equation. How are we going to do this? To do this, we need we first show that, we plug in C is 1. 21 times F is equals to FG times 2. So we know that F or G can only be 3 or 6. So we first try that F is equals to 6. So the left side is 126 and right side G can only be 3. So it's 63 times 2 is 126. So it works. So this means we get the result for this problem, which is A is equal to 4, B is equal to 7, C is equal to 2, D is equal to 8, E is equal to 1, F is equal to 6, G is equal to 3, H is equal to 9, I is equal to 5, J is equal to 0. And here we come to the end of this chapter. I hope you have learned a lot. See you next week. Bye!